Alrighty, so last time with I.P.I, you had, Sahir had made people food. Um, Joan took a look at the map and recreated it. Um, and then when you're talking about how you were going to get there, well, actually, before that, you stepped outside the TARPUS to take a look at the sea charts to see if there was anything that matched. And Isleen was able to find out uh, where, or, well, was able to correlate the map that you found with maps that exist. And found out that the place that you are looking at is a place called the Dunwell Atoll.
Done well?
Dunwell. So, Dunwell.
I'm glad that I instinctively knew how to spell that. Because it also could have been like done well, as in like well done, but flipped. Thank you for not doing that.
No. I just took a name generator and removed a letter from the one of the options generated. Um, then Tong's sister, Tong Yawen, oh no, Tong Shufen, uh, left to go find a boat. You used the Tarpus to get to the harbor before her, and Shufen found a boat she liked. It was quite an enigma for almost everyone, uh, being that it was a ship made of metal, or at least with a hull made of metal. Um, while people were downstairs taking a look at the observation deck and the engine room, Sahir and Avery got a conspiracy to pull up the gangway so you didn't get interruptions. And when they pulled the gangway up onto um, the ship jerked and started rising into the air, breaking off part of the dock that it was tied to, and Avery pointed out a certain symbol on the deck, registering this as a ship of in the possession of Turku the Terror. And this week, so that you know what the ship looks like, it is on Roll20 if you really want to know what the ship looks like. At least the top
This
deck.
week, the ship will take us somewhere.
Ooh.
Say, yeah. So that is the top deck of the ship. If you really wanted to know what it looked like. So what are y'all's reactions?
Well, I seem to remember last time we left off, my reaction was, if anybody asks, we didn't do that.
Oh, no, of course not.
if anyone asks, we
didn't do that. Yeah.
No.
Isleen's probably just mildly panicking because she like doesn't understand how we're flying at the same time. Like, but I think I'm also like, wait, what spell is this? Is this a spell that I could potentially do? Is there a spell to counteract this? So she might have dug out her master spell book and just been like flipping through it madly, like trying to find something that's put us back down.
It's a shame to not have the physician here to provide his insight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jonah's stuck between several different. just stuck between several different, I guess, worries of how is the ship flying? Why is the ship flying? Why did we just steal this? Who did we just steal this from? Is the ship set up with any provisions whatsoever? Because if it wasn't, we're gonna starve before we get there. How did Tong even know about this? And what are we gonna do about that?
Um,
So Jonah's basically entering like shutdown mode at the moment.
Jonas in crisis.
Jonah's in mental crisis.
oof. Yeah. So Shu Fan does like a cursory investigation of the engine room to see what happened. However, she got a nat 1 on that investigation.
Oh gosh.
Which for her is turns it up to a 4. So it's a. She mutters something about, well, I don't know if we had anything to do, if our being here did anything. Wait.
What does that mean? Jonah's actually asking, what does that mean?
Um, if this is a magical ship, then maybe stepping into we uh may have stepped into something like a glyph of warding. I'm not sure. I don't see anything that would indicate that.
Can Joan look around for, I guess, a glyph of warding or something that would have caused this then?
Yeah. Roll an investigation or arcana.
Can I do the same?
Yep. You may.
I don't remember which one's higher. Give me a moment.
Investigation for 17. Arcana check.
I really need to print this out at some point. 14 investigation.
Yeah, neither of you find anything like a glyph of warding. Or any other magical ward.
I think Isleen's just gonna look around at, like, as she's looking around and doing this check, she's like, wait, where are Avery and Sahir?
Now that it seems that the ship has set sail, proverbially speaking, does it sail if it flies? Do you think that we're taking the ship somewhere, or the ship is taking us somewhere?
Well, Sahir, given that we are currently moving towards the cloud wall that surrounds the island, um, perhaps the ship is taking us somewhere.
Do you even know how to fly this?
No, never encountered a flying ship before.
Grant,
Can't say I do. I thought, well, Avery has a point here that the ship might be taking us somewhere.
Ah,
assuming that you can
have the rogue
handle it.
suddenly rejoined the party?
Yeah, because
I thought that Joan had come up close enough to hear us.
no, we're still down in the engine room.
Yeah, we're all still in the engine room wondering what the hell's going on.
We're flying.
Okay,
That she doesn't know how to fly it.
that makes more sense.
Okay.
I thought it was Avery speaking. It was not.
Well, Avery was the one saying that, well, we're flying in towards the cloud wall.
Yes, that was Avery for sure, because that was here asking.
So you're a captain who doesn't know how to fly steer the ship that we're on. Okay.
I've sailed normal ships. I just never sailed a ship like this.
Then why did you pick this one? No offense, but why?
I countermand that. I mean all of the offense when she asked that.
To be fair, I didn't know that it would fly. I thought it would be a normal ship.
Maybe we should be worried that the ship is taking us somewhere rather than us taking it somewhere. But I choose to worry about this at another time.
Yes, let's rejoin the others before they put the blame on this on us.
So what, do you regularly encounter metal boats?
Yeah, well, regularly, I mean, depends on when you're talking about. If you're talking about
What do you mean when? I mean right now.
Well, let's see. The time period that I may have left, they were starting to produce ironclad ships. Powered by steam.
What do you mean?
Can I do an
You
investigate?
can't do that with steam.
Can I do an investigate to see if there's a manual or something, a book of some sort that I can finally have a clue of maybe how this thing is flying, or at least how to steer it?
Yes.
That's an 8. Okay,
Did you-
total is going to be investigation. We have a 12.
You don't. You panically like search around the room. You don't see any instruction manual.
Okay.
Joan watches what Islaine is doing, and then goes to theoretically where the captain would be, which is probably where a lot of instructions would be. And Joan doesn't even say anything else, just walks off like, well, we're now handling this.
The captain's quarters.
Or actually, if there's a quartermaster section, maybe checking that first.
Very good. Well, first make me a either investigation or survival to see if you can locate where this would be first.
Okay.
Yeah, the ships from my home country would be rather different, so I'm not exactly sure where I would be looking if I was going to try.
That's 14.
All right. Yeah. So you managed to find a cabin that is like separated from where looks like the rest of the crew sleeps. This particular room appears to be like sectioned off into fourths. So there's like it looks like there are 4 people that sort of act as quartermasters.
Hmm.
And you can immediately see like there are like technical stuff like just in each of the 4 quadrants.
Joan goes to the, I guess, one closest to the left and just tries to look through. All right, what is this manual about? Does it have a title? Does it have a glossary of generally used terms?
Is it in a language that you can read?
We have the Tarpus. They'll be fine.
Oh yeah, good point. Or is that only for spoken languages?
Well, I can tell you that the manual is in common.
Oh, good.
I just remind myself who the people were. There we go. All right. All right. So, you take a look at the designs, and you can see um, these designs appear to be more so for weaponry. Uh, in particular, gunnery.
Like proper
Rudimentary
balls of
cannons.
lead.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Rudimentary cannons.
Like skims through this, kind of understand what's going on, but most of it not. Just slams it down and goes to the next one. It's like, nope, not valid.
Uh,
Look at later, but not that one. It's like the least important one at the moment.
okay. Let's see. This particular person appears to have more uh, a mix of surgery stuff and alchemical formulas.
Goes to this. It's like, what the? Oh, that's gross. No. What is milkweed? You know what? No, that can't be valid. Slides up to the side, goes to the next.
Alright. This one. So you, right, the big book that you find is, I like the first page is like, property of Tegan Stagwillow, secondary captain of the Steel Swan. Uh, and that has instructions on proper runnings of the ship, people's schedules, meal times, uh, steering, and lift off slash landing. The differences between sailing in the water versus sailing in the air.
Yes, this is the one.
Yeah. So I'll have you know there were 4 people. You checked the gunner and the surgeon first.
Eh. That's a fun thing about looking until you find it. You eventually find it.
I mean, at that point, there was a 50-50 shot that you would get the navigator.
What was the name of the person who owned that book again? Something Stagwillow.
Let me put it here.
To be fair, the navigator probably would have been somewhat helpful as well.
Yeah.
Just not as
Probably.
helpful.
Thank you. Like I got everything except for the very first name, so having the whole thing is great. Thank you.
And is it what's written? Is it like more of like a properly bound book, or is it more like loose leaf in a binder?
So this looks like a proper book. That you would guess was based off the other papers around that are well, you do some more looking. It looks like it was copied from loose notes.
All right. Looking around, there's probably not just a pile of loose notes that this was just recently copied from.
Nope.
All right. Did anyone follow me?
I probably did.
Isle, found it.
Excellent.
Now I will ask this Sahir.
Yes.
Do you follow Avery's suggestion of rejoining at least Joan and Iseline?
I did intend to at some point. I just missed my opportunity to make a funny comment about Steam. And I hadn't come up with the next point where I was like, this is where to join in.
Well, let's see. That rolled off. I mean, Avery is sneaking.
That sounds like an encouragement to do the same.
Yeah. So Avery got a 23 for stealth.
I got a 20.
All right. And so you, as you're going to join them, you find Joan looking for the quartermaster quarters.
And Iseline following.
Yep. So you can rejoin at any point.
Fair enough.
But you guys are sneaking, right? So we don't notice you?
Correct. They both got stealths that are higher than both of your passives, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Joan holds up the book. It's like, yes, found it. All right, now let's see what the
Are we hiding
hell
together,
we're
or
supposed to be doing.
lose track of Avery?
What was it?
Are we hiding together, or do I lose track of Avery?
I mean, you can know where Avery is. I mean, do you want to stick together?
Not quite sure what Avery's up to, but okay.
Hey, he's just looking not to get into trouble.
Okay, well, they seem as lost as we are. What else is around here?
Say that out loud to where Joan and I can hear you?
No.
Okay.
That is me.
There's always a galley.
Well, what is it that you want to do here?
I want to find out what else I can see around here while I'm sneaking around.
All right. Make a perception check for me.
Interesting rooms, interesting stuff. Oh, that's a terrible perception check. An 8 with my +6 perception.
Wait, so was that a natural 8 or an unnatural 8?
Unnatural.
Unnatural.
Well, you're currently where all the crew is. But I think that you can smell. You think you can smell food coming from up, up above.
I thought we were just there. I've got to investigate that.
Is that what I'm looking for? Yes, but also no. Oh, wait. Ah, yes, that is the galley. Alright. So, going back to the top deck and towards the bow, so, how's it? There's a part of the ship where it will like there is a separate room that you can smell okay, let me start again. So on the top deck towards the bow there is a separate room that is the galley and the dining room.
You say there's a smell of food. Who's preparing food on this ship? Must investigate further. Look around. Galley.
You don't find anyone in the galley. It does look
Okay.
like, from your intuition as a cook, that looks like whoever was last in here wasn't planning on being away for very long.
The kettle's on, but it's not boiling yet.
The kettle is on. It's not. It doesn't have the fire under. Yeah, that sort of thing. So,
Like there's something baking in the oven, but it still has a ways to go yet, but you can just start to smell it, kind of a thing.
yes.
Because he smelled food.
Yes, I must find the source of this food. There is nobody here, but somebody left something cooking. And that leaves me three opportunities. One, to not let the ship burn down due to food that was left cooking for too long. Two, to make sure we have excellent food. And three, to surprise people with excellent food.
I'm just going to hijack this project. Just like we hijacked this ship.
They're not going to get their food at this point, and I don't want it to go to waste. Or do I want it to burn the ship down while we're in the sky?
Okay, so Elsevier is doing that. Joan is lean.
Mm.
Uh, what were you doing?
Joan is opening up the book and starting to skim through, like, okay, so how does one turn? There's probably a big wheel, so I'll ignore that for a second. How do we control height? How does that start? It's kind of rapidly flipping through.
Seeing that Joan is in possession of that book of instructions on how to fly the ship, I think Iseline will probably go towards the whatever book's on the right and take a look at that one to see if
So the last,
to see what she can find in that one.
so like the last quadrant that Joan didn't take a look at.
Yeah.
All right. Um, you find a lot of charts. Mainly maps and navigation stuff, though you also do find like designs for armor,
Like armor for
like
people?
personal armor. Yeah.
Okay.
In particular, there are like two designs. There's like one that appears to be made particularly for stealth, and a different one. I don't quite remember off the top of my head. Uh, yep, that one. Nice, and one that appears to be for defense.
Hmm.
Um, the one that looks like it's used for defense appears to have a defensive field and thunder gauntlets. Well, the stealthy one has what looks like gem-like nodes. They're used for shooting lightning.
I'm looking at this one for defense. If I wanted to know if it would work with one of my spells, just out of curiosity, like if it would amplify a spell that I could do if I was wearing it, what would I have to roll?
Let's do Arcana.
18.
So taking a look at these designs, and you get the feeling that you get the impression that the creator of these designs is an artificer of the armor variety. Um, it and you would know that armor artificers can turn their own armor into an arcane armor.
Okay.
And they can customize said armor to be either a guardian or an infiltrator model.
So they would have to modify it to match. it wouldn't just automatically amplify a spell with thunder damage that I would have, right? They'd have to customize it to me if I wanted that. Or could they even customize that?
Well, I don't think so because this is a class feature that you're looking at.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a personal thing.
Okay. Having found the stuff for armor, I'll kind of set it to the side and try and look more at the maps. Do any of the charts and maps and navigation stuff, does anything look remotely similar to what we've been researching recently with our own maps?
Roll investigation.
No, I wanted this. That is a 22.
So most of the maps that you find are more so for trade routes that this ship could potentially follow, and you get this mainly because this ship or there are straight lines across land, which would be pretty strange for a normal ship to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's straight, also ignoring terrain that you're aware of. So it's mostly to the west of where you're looking at, but there are some that show off like the western part of what you've been researching.
Okay. And I'm not finding any maps that would be helpful in getting us where we know we're headed. I mean, there's some that overlap a little bit of like the western part of our map, but not anything that would lead us directly to where we're going as far as what's available for navigation here.
Yeah.
Any luck in figuring out how to direct this thing?
Well, make
I don't know, DM. Have I found it?
Make an intelligence check.
Intelligence. My goodness, what is it with all these lukewarm rolls? That's 13.
You could be me and keep passing your stealth with flying colors and then miserably failing all your perception checks.
You could just get good. So you have a general understanding, or at least you can get a layman's understanding of an artificer's notes. So you know, like, okay, yes, there is a big wheel that causes us to turn this way or that way. Appears to be that there is a device like next to it that controls our height. Another one that controls speed.
And there's probably like for like every like 5 paragraph description of exactly how to use this properly, Joan is probably like taken half a paragraph and like, yes, this is probably how it works.
It is very much like a user's manual for a new car.
Oh, so you mean like a proper manual from the 1970s that didn't have any of the warnings, but you knew exactly what kind of bolts you needed to tear apart that one section of the engine.
I suppose I'm not a car person.
Yeah, my grandfather showed me like a manual from back then. There were no warnings. but you knew exactly how to make a transmission from scratch if you absolutely had to.
Yeah, come to think, I should probably know more about cars since my best friend in high school built his own car.
That's pretty cool.
That is very cool.
In high school, too.
Hmm.
That's actually pretty good. Yeah.
Now, I'm not talking like from scratch, took an existing one and refitted it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But even that's impressive.
You can't build an engine like you can in IKEA furniture. If there's anything left over, you're screwed.
But yeah, so you have a that
Rudimentary.
rudimentary knowledge of how to sail this thing.
Joan goes to the top deck to like try and visually see it in front of them and also see if we are still climbing into the air and where we are, because we have I think we've been just downstairs this whole time.
Alright. So Isleen
Hmm.
uh Joan is leaving the quartermaster quarters.
Yes.
Do you want to follow?
Yeah.
Absolutely nose deep in this book. Like face full of concentration.
Yeah, the fact that she is face full of concentration and didn't really answer my question. It's like, okay, we're just gonna follow Joan, and we can come back here to go over the notes later because she obviously looks like she's onto something. So, yes, I'm gonna be following Joan.
Probably the deepest you've seen her nose in a book.
Yeah, and I know that feeling. So, seeing the signs of onto something, not want to leave, not gonna interact with the outside world because I'm still trying to figure this out. Yeah, I'm just gonna follow.
Yeah, it's not like that calm, poised, yes, I'm researching this and absorbing all the information. It's more like a sophomore in college desperately trying to read the textbook before an exam.
Alright.
How many years ago was it that Wesley learned that that was a bad idea?
So, you manage to get up onto the top deck and over to where the helm is, which is over towards the back of the ship, and actually the highest point on the deck. But when you get there, you see that Shu Fen has beaten you to it and is currently at the helm. Oh, hey, did you have fun looking around?
No, actually, I didn't. I have found way too many pointless things. Have you figured out how to fly this on your own?
Yeah, it seems like, well, steering is mostly normal to a sailing ship. It's just you have to take into account a third dimension. Also, you have to set the speed.
Yes, I saw that. Apparently, past halfway, it becomes different somehow. I don't know what it means.
Yeah, so, also, I have no idea what these gauges mean. And she, like, points, like, past the helm, to, a, um, a panel. There you go.
Right.
Panel, that's what I was looking for.
Mhm.
We're flying an airplane without wings.
And, well, you can see, I saw, like, two sides, like, one eye the side, like, two tubes that are filled with something. You're not quite sure. just at a quick glance. And as well as um, a dial that, or uh, something like a pointer, like pointing at some numbers. They go from zero
A
all
pressure
the way
gauge.
to 250.
Pressure gauge. Not that Isleen would know what that is, but that's what it sounds like. I'm just, it's more of like a check for modern concept is like a pressure gauge.
Maybe.
If anything, you'd think the pressure gauge would be on either side because they'd obviously use mercury to make sure that they don't go too high to suffocate. 250 though. Is that an altimeter? Is that speed? I don't know. Jones looking through the instruction manual.
More.
Right, make an investigation.
Investigation. Investigate. Oh, that's slightly better. That's 18.
Let's see. And just make sure that this thing actually does, or is what I think it is.
Yeah, because you'd think you'd have like airspeed, wind speed. No, wait, no. Airspeed and ground speed, probably. And there's altitude.
Yeah.
Fuel.
Yes. So,
Something else I'm forgetting.
taking a look, um, one appears to be um, a speed gauge. Um, Actually, several of these appear to be speed gauges, though you're not quite sure what. One of them's down at 0. Um, next to two of these things, it also looks like there's a little compass. um, you would guess that one of the two or cylinders on the sides is a thermometer. And you would hazard to guess that at least something on here tells you how high you are. Like, what your altitude is.
Does it still feel like we're moving up?
It does not.
Hmm.
And
Joan will reach over to the one that controls heights and just push it in the direction that decreases it slightly and watches all the gauges.
Alright. So you watch the part of the panel that you think measures altitude, and you see that going down.
Yeah, gotta just tap it and then bring it back. Yep, we're staying there. Oh, that one appears to be for height. Yeah, Joe, then tap the when it comes to speed, does it just does like does it say it only goes forward or does it go backwards?
There's the backwards.
Joan will tap the backwards thing first.
Alright. So you move it from going forward to going back, and you feel like yourself being thrown towards the bow, though not a lot. then you start feeling the ship move in the opposite direction that it was moving.
And Joe push it back in the forward direction again. Well, this isn't confusing at all. Who's designed something like this?
I don't know, but I'm having lots of fun.
Well, as they're figuring out the dials and stuff like that, I'm looking around to see kind of like what I can see in our environment. Do I just see the cloud wall in front of us? Do I see anything else? Obviously, we're not going to see another ship. Please don't tell me we see another ship.
As funny as
All
that
the
would
way
be, you
down
don't
there.
see another ship. Actually, what you see is like a smattering of clouds. Um, and when Joan like lowers the ship, you see that the ship kind of like lowers into the clouds, almost like it's sailing in the clouds before it stops. Then, when the ship starts moving backwards, the clouds start moving the other way, um, and you can like look down and see the ocean below.
Above the. I'm not even gonna ask how we can breathe up there, but above the cloud layer. Sounds like falling off the ship would be
Bad.
da-da-da-da, certain death.
Depends on which cloud layer.
Yeah, these might be low-lying clouds.
We could breathe if the clouds were low enough. That is true. Falling even 6,000 feet into the water is still probably certain death, though.
Yeah, terminal velocity very much kicks in by then.
It's a long way down.
And keep in mind, this is using realistic life rules. Falling into water will not stop your fall. Well, it will. It's just it'll be like landing on concrete.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Instead of the Minecraft mechanic where you jump into water from regardless of height, it's actually nice.
Lots of games work. Okay.
Lots of games work like that.
I wouldn't know because I mainly just play Minecraft as far as games go, but
Don't worry. You always fall in video games. You always fall faster than you would in real life.
okay, so the falling and the impact are both wrong.
Yep.
At least you can still die from falling from a high place in Minecraft.
Mm-hmm.
That was my
Yeah,
third
terminal
death.
like
I fell off my tornado.
Journal like bring the book over is like, can you read this at all?
Yeah, I can give it a try.
Actually to kind of shows it to both of you, like, y'all can read this, right? Tongue and easily.
Let's see. Do I want to make you both roll? Yeah, yeah, you can both roll.
What am I rolling?
Intelligence.
7.
And
So, Isleen, it's the since you are more of an arcane student, not really getting the
Mm-hmm.
technical details, though you are understanding it a bit better than Joan. Um, Tong, is like, oh yeah, I can read this, and she lets go of the helm and starts reading it.
I think Isaline just like moves over to the helm and like grabs it. It's like, don't we have to have our hands on this to make sure we don't go somewhere we're not supposed to? So she's just like
Not
awkwardly
really.
holding the helm.
It's at this point that Sahir shows up. I mean, nobody was there to start. Food?
I mean, it's hard to go where you're not supposed to when you're already not going where you're supposed to.
They have saved us all. There was food cooking. Somebody left it completely unattended. And now it is finished and wonderful, and I'm offering it.
Ah, so that's where you went off to. Leave it to Sahir to find the galley.
Well, of course.
So wait, somebody was cooking food. Are they still here?
Not
Yes,
as
did
far
you
as
actually look?
well, they're not in the kitchen. They're not on the top deck. And they weren't following Joan and Isaline around in the room that they were at.
You were sneaking around again because?
Look, here. I appreciate you made food. Really, I do. But you've got to check these things.
I presume if anybody's on the ship, you guys would have noticed. You were down there. There's nobody up here.
You were a little bit more concerned with the fact that the ship is now flying and not in water.
Oh yeah, that was quite an interesting thing.
Yeah, it started moving without any of us doing anything.
Ivan, what are you doing here?
Ivan!
If you're saying anything, you're not hearing ya.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I heard you that time.
I just want to say hi and bye. I'm going to bed. But I was thinking about you guys.
Long time no see.
Hey. Hello.
Hi, guys. Where's everybody else?
Ben is thinking she has a trip that she's going on tomorrow. So she wasn't going to be able to jump on. And other than that, Dominic's making a sandwich. So he's just in our kitchen. But pretty much like we're the only people that show up anymore. So this is all of us. Other than Jen. Oh, and Megan. Megan sometimes joins in.
Did I just lose you?
Nope.
I don't think so.
Oh. The thing froze
Oh.
for a second there.
I can still hear you.
Oh.
Well, it's nice seeing Ivan. Miss Bozeman.
To be alive. But yeah, I'll have to hop on one of these days and catch up with you guys.
That would be great.
I have an early morning. Not 3 a.m. like we had to do the other week, but it's still early. So, hey guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Alright, where were we before we got interrupted?
Avery had just commented that leave it to Sahir to find the galley. Joan was thankful that he made food, but upset that he hadn't checked these things. And Isline's awkwardly holding the helm as Shufan reads the manual. And Sahir is just offered food randomly. I also love the fact that here just offered us food, and my husband's over in the kitchen making a sandwich. But I know, like, we had dinner, but for some reason you're still hungry, and that's okay.
I mean, I don't know if we really have to worry that much. I mean, maybe we do, maybe we don't, because I found a symbol of a friend of ours on the ship.
Friend of ours,
Turk with a terror.
we've got.
Hmm.
We're on Turku's ship because the state couldn't get. And Elaine just like she has her hands on the helm, and she just like puts her head on the helm as well. It's like.
I don't know. Is there like a cruise control or like a movable stick that they can like put under the helm just to make sure it doesn't turn anywhere?
I mean, the helm didn't move much when Shufen let go.
Elaine's just being paranoid.
Pretty much. Because like she had seen Shu Fen holding the wheel, and so it's like, okay, so that's how we steer. That's how we make sure we're going straight. And then she takes her hands off the wheel. It's like, wait a minute. Don't we have to hold this thing?
No.
Again, the ship's in my country. Don't really have a helm.
Now,
We have oarsmen.
question. Did you guys do anything to cause the ship to start flying?
No. But it might come out a little bit muffled because Isleen has her face pressed into the wood of the hull. Now,
Why did you have you found the section that actually starts the ship?
No. Sahir and I were just up here on the top deck when it started rising out of the harbor. And broke.
Don, do you see the?
Did we lose the gangplank then?
Oh no. We managed to get that up like right before it started taking off.
Can I get a roll an insight on that, please?
Tonk, did you find the part that says how the ship starts moving?
Am I allowed to roll an insight?
Yes, you may.
Please let me roll an. Yeah, 24.
To be fair, what Avery said is completely true.
But it wasn't right. Wasn't as.
Right before it took off, we put the gangplank up.
I am bad at doing math in my head.
I rolled a 24.
And whatever Avery rolled, it was a 29. So, he appears to be truthful.
Can I still be suspicious anyway?
Just because it's Avery.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I'm not saying whether it was persuasion or deception. Oh, I'm sorry. What was that? What was it that you asked?
Did you find the section that says how you start moving the ship?
Well, yes. If we, shall I go over to this side of the panel? Well, not the not the panel in front. She'll go over to like one of the panels on the or dials. That doesn't sound right, but she'll like so this right here, and she'll like press a button, and you'll So here you'll hear like at the background hum that the ship's been making this entire time stop. The rest of you, well, everyone will feel the like a brief moment of weightlessness before she presses the button again, and the background hum starts again. It's like, and the higher passive perception people will also notice that the altimeter also started lowering when she turned the ship off for a brief second.
That's unsettling.
I know my passive's a 15, but
Also,
since I'm right in front of that panel, would I've been one of the ones noticing that it was going down?
Yes.
also, it just occurred to me that Turku basically just did the equivalent of leaving his incredibly expensive car running and assuming that nobody would
Feel it?
yes.
I mean, would you steal from like the most well-known criminal boss?
Not without a death wish. Or a
Or if
lot
you
of
thought you could
stupidity.
get away with it.
That's where the stupidity part comes. Or when you literally had no clue, like us.
Like, oh yeah, I just left my McLaren running and I'm sure nobody will take it.
Just gonna park the Lamborghini for just a second. I just have to run inside to grab something.
But I'm sure we can get out of getting in trouble with Turkey because we're working with the government, right?
I don't think the government wanted us to steal a ship.
No, this is the we either return this immediately or we crash it in the middle of absolutely nowhere and change our names.
All I can say is that if he's upset that his dinner is gone, then I will make him another one.
Or we could say that we stole. We well, not oh, what's the term that the guards use when they take possession of something from a criminal?
Commandeer.
We can say that we commandeered it for our investigation.
Like Isaline responds with commandeer almost like automatically. Not because she's actually trying to help him, but because he likes words. Stuff.
Requisition, I think, is closer. Requisition, I think, is closer.
Yeah.
Whatever the word is.
Requisition's a better.
Whatever the word
Yeah.
is, we've taken control of the ship for our investigative purposes.
That doesn't change the fact that Turco didn't give it to us to do investigating for him.
He is a criminal, though. He is a well-known criminal on the island.
Who could kill all of us without a second thought.
I should have just stayed back in Swanbow. Again, this is like
It's okay.
this is all why Isleen has her head like resting on the helm because she's just like, this is my life. How is this my life?
It's okay, Isley. I won't be offended if you proclaim not to know who any of us are.
As Avery is looking for the words to say, Shufen will look up from the book, and you'll see her ears rise to attention. After a moment, she says, "I haven't seen him all day. Currently on a stolen ship that I stole accidentally. The Steel Swan, if that rings a bell."
I think at her doing that, Isleen will finally bring her head up and just kind of look at her like, who are you talking to?
Shufen will hold up a finger before he says,
Mhm.
"I was speaking with my sister through sending.
Huh.
Apparently her son has gone missing."
That's not good.
So she was asking if I've seen him at all.
You have to add the part that we stole a ship.
She asked where I was.
You say you're indisposed in the middle of the sea.
She holds up a finger as her ears go to attention again. Okay, great to hear. Wish I could send you if I find him here. Don't know if I can steer the ship back to the island, though, if he is here. Alright, so my sister has no problem that we stole this ship.
What? Isleen just like
That's
looks
mildly expected, but
If this was the other party, nobody would be surprised.
Isleen looks gobsmacked. Like, but she's the minister. I mean, I know she doesn't want the job, but still.
Yes, but she is the prime minister on the least organized governmental agency that you have ever seen.
That is true.
we didn't steal our house and started flying it. I'm pretty sure she wouldn't care about much else.
I've seen more organized. Well, that's actually a given. Never mind.
You see more organized criminal enterprises.
Cartel, yeah.
I mean, that does sound like my sister dragging her feet into this sort of thing. I mean, she hates nobility on principle. So putting her into a position where she has to pretend like she's a noble is, let's say, not to her liking.
That is understandable. Still surprising that she doesn't mind that we've stolen a ship on accident.
Well, if I had
You said
sending,
her
I
son.
could ask.
Hey, at least she knows it was an accident.
You said her son was missing. That sounds more problematic for her.
Yes. I can only imagine what the terrible hullabaloo that's going back on that island right now.
An understandable hullabaloo. I'd rather be dealing with that hullabaloo.
Well, at least the obvious armaments on the deck didn't automatically fire.
Yeah. You say that you would rather be there. I would not want to be on the same or in the same city as not one but two angry wizards, high level angry wizards.
I am a wizard. Still learning, but
A wizard
and
that
no, I don't mean that. I don't mean that as me like taking them on. I mean I understand a little bit more.
yeah, let's see, two wizards that have access to ninth level spells is what I mean.
Yeah, I had no doubt that they were more powerful than I am. I'm just saying that I get the concept of a wizard being upset.
Sorry, I was just reminded of a song that kept showing up in my recommendeds, and I finally listened to it, and it is pertinent.
It is.
Not like directly related, but
Well, then I guess it's a good thing that it takes a week to get to that island and another week to get away.
Yeah. I would say that you don't quite get to the extent I'm talking about, but you're not from where we're from, so you don't know what Fox people are like. So, yeah, just keep us going straight. Or actually, you know what? She'll like pull the speed dial to a stop. So, there, you can let go without us moving anywhere, besides wherever the wind takes us. Literally.
It'll just kind of like slowly move her hands off the wheel, kind of like watching it to make sure it doesn't like spin wildly. It's like, okay.
we have a stationary rock in the sky now.
One that can be moved by wind, so not quite stationary.
Well, presumably they can be moved by wind. I've never gotten high up enough to where I was blown about by the wind, but the wind does tend to get stronger the higher up you go.
Random question for the DM. While Sahir was in the galley, uh, presumably rifling around to make sure that this food was the best that it could be, what provisions would he have noticed?
Additional question that even though it's not my own character, what kind of food did he make?
What was cooking when he
Rogies.
got there?
What was that?
Rogies.
Pierogies?
uh, so the kind of food that you were preparing, let's see. Who would have been preparing at this time? Actually, so the food that you saw preparing um, seemed to be mostly like food that involved a lot of spices.
Right up my alley.
Yeah. You think based off the spices that it was a tiefling that was cooking. Um, so heavily spiced food. It's as for provisions, you get mostly stuff that like will last a while. Though you not enough like not quite enough that you would expect on a sailing vessel. Though, given how strange this ship is, it's not too surprising.
Lots of preserved foods, sure. Although,
Or preservable food.
okay.
Stuff that doesn't
Something
perish
of
too
it,
easily.
only going to make half the journey.
Actually, yeah, that kind of makes sense. If you go really high with the boat, and since you're gonna be flying, travel time is probably halved, if not more. So you don't have to have nearly as much preserved food, depending on how far you go. Yeah.
How much provision?
The provisions you see you would expect to last like 3 weeks, which you're not quite sure where you can get to in 3 weeks, or get to and back from in 3 weeks.
But we know we can get to our island and back in 2 weeks, so we have enough for our mission.
Yeah. So, Isleen, the food that Sahir comes back with is a lot spicier than what you're expecting.
Can I smell the spice coming from it?
Given that you
Or
would
is it going to be
be,
something that I can only taste?
given that you are not as well used to spices, I would say you can smell it a little bit.
Here, what is that?
A very spicy dish that the former cook of the galley, who so irresponsibly abandoned their meal, was making. I've just made sure that it cooked up very all nice and proper.
Like, is this like in a bowl? Like, is this with like on a plate with rice? Like, what does this
It
look
would have
like?
been a
Because I
bowl.
want it in a bowl. Okay.
That's what I'm trying to figure out too. I'm like,
Well,
where do
I'm trying to,
seafoods live?
I'm trying to come up with this on the spot.
What I'm like, would the here have recognized it and known how to prepare it, or been like
You would
the
have.
gist of it? And
This would be something that you are familiar with because you would have had tiefling customers.
fair enough.
So,
Like, I'll like, and I'll very tentatively take a bowl and assuming there's like a spoon or something or fork, whatever utensil it is, and just like I want to try a bite.
It's a really spicy curry.
yeah, I'm kind of thinking like a curry type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll take a bowl and like I'll take a small bite, but I'm not quite sure what my reaction should be to it, but
Kidding.
no, not death. Thank you.
Might feel like it though if it's as spicy as being described.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, should I roll like a survival check or something like this?
Constitution save.
Constitution saving throw? Okay. Is it strange that I'm almost okay with a nat 1 right now? Is that weird? I don't
No.
expect this to go well. Constitution saving throw. I got a 9.
So, even with the tentative bite, that is like, oh, that is like so much more spice and flavor than I was expecting.
Um, like she'll just hand the bowl back to him and dig for her water and say, "I'll find something else."
Jona's definitely trying some now.
Yeah. Avery will take some and not be affected because he's a bird.
That's hilarious.
Goes through the d20.
Ah. Yes, you might like something a little less so.
That
lively. Did I see any milk in the galley?
Milk in the galley.
Let me go get you something to help with that. Here we'll come back with a glass of milk for Isoline.
It's like I've already down like a good chunk of my water. It's like that's milk.
Yes, it will help. I promise.
Okay. She'll take it and just start sipping. It's like, oh, okay.
Actually,
Thank
if you add a twist of lemon, it helps even more.
Really?
Really.
Did you curdle the milk?
I don't want to think about lemon in my milk. Ew, no.
Anyway, Joan got a 24, so.
Oh yeah, you probably tasted like tiefling food at some point.
Yeah, like.
Not to mention you're also Greek. Not to mention that you're
Like,
also Greek.
yeah, somewhat. Yeah, Joan's kind of like chewing on it. I was like, those are actually pretty good.
Yeah. While you've
Also,
been
I was
having your adventure, Yawen had, or not Yaw, Shu Fen has gone and looking places.
Yeah, I was looking at boat speeds, and if this boat is traveling at, say, 20 miles per hour, we'll get to the island in like 3 days.
Nice.
Because sailing speed basically maxed out at like 9 miles per hour in the
In water.
yeah.
Yeah, because with
At
this
least when it came
you don't
at
have
least when it came
the
to like sailing unpowered.
yeah, because with this we don't have to worry about the resistance against the water at all.
Yep. Yeah, sailing is really slow unless you're like specifically building for it.
Yeah, like a sailboat. Sorry, this is just a complete side comment, not in character, but I find it kind of fascinating that all of my D&D characters also reflect me with food. Because I don't do spicy. Like one of the Thai places in Bozeman that we really liked, Thai Basil. My spice level was a 0. Dominic spice level was a 4. That's
Out
our
of what,
life.
10?
5.
Huh. Well, there's a hidden 6 that that is reserved only for family members.
Yeah, I'm of the opinion that spice is fine as long as it's still contributing to the flavor. Most of the people that I work with currently who are Asian and more familiar with the spicier things order the same thing when I do, which is a 4. They're like, not that they couldn't tolerate the 5, same with me, but it's just not adding anything at that point. It's better not to.
Hmm.
And Brina absolutely adores bread, which I also adore bread. I'm not sure what Maraway does food-wise that is the same as me, other than the common script soup from my Williams bin. You like that? Sorry, side tangent of my brain.
Totally fair.
With the thing that came to mind.
I'm really curious to listen to that now. No, right now.
Alright.
Okay, so Shufan is gone poking around.
Yep.
Everybody else is enjoying their curry except Isleen. She's somewhat feels like she's dying.
Well, now she has a glass.
Yeah, I have a glass of milk.
You'll feel a lot better after.
A glass of milk is my new best friend. I'll find other food.
Yeah, Jonah is like eating the curry and then like looking at the dials and everything and trying to remember. So how fast were we traveling earlier?
Well, can you
I
deduce
don't-
which one's the speedometer?
I imagine it's the one that's at 0 now rather than earlier.
Yep. It's the big one. It's currently pointed at 0 and has a max of. Actually, I was incorrect in my thoughts. I was thinking of how far it can travel in a day.
But thankfully, 250 is not how fast it can go.
No.
That would be very
Excellent.
impressive.
That'd be impressive, but terrifying.
So, no. In fact, it has a top speed of 10 miles an hour.
Damn.
But hey, with the rules that I was checking, it can go 219 miles in a day, fully crewed. 260 miles in a day.
Yeah, I hear that and all I think are rookie numbers. It's very unfortunate. Anyway.
Yeah, anyway. So, what is it that you wish to do at this point?
And
Check if there's
God,
anyone else on board.
Alright.
Yeah.
Roll I'll give you a choice of 3 checks. Survival, perception, or investigation.
Hmm.
Whichever you think is more logical for this situation.
Can you repeat the options, please?
Survival, perception, or investigation.
Investigation. This is owned by a criminal. Therefore, there are hidey holes.
Alright.
That's 17. Investigation is slow, but I will find everything eventually.
Okay. Was Isleen looking as well? Or was Zahir looking?
no, I was about to say that as far as I can tell, we have a ship that's we can bring where we need to go, and we have a galley full of food, so I'm not terribly worried about
I'm investigating.
anything unusual for what comes next.
I'm investigating 22.
Alright. So you both would have found this person eventually, but since someone started their investigations first, while everyone was eating,
Mm-hmm.
You find no one else on the ship that you expect, except you will both hear at one point you'll hear Shufen yelling, Yoshio, Yoshiro, what are you doing here?
Immediate beadline for that.
Following.
So
Here will be somewhat close behind. We do have an extra bowl of curry after all.
And what you will find in the storage area, you'll find Shu Fan with her arms crossed, looking down at a person that Zahir has seen before, and I think Isleen has also seen before. Actually, no, you've all seen before because you last saw him in Tong's, well, not living room, but in Tong's house.
Yeah.
You see, a little fox boy, about 5 or 6 years of age. And
Well, I guess someone was found, but that still doesn't explain the food. Oh.
The food is not explained, but it can be offered.
I'm gonna look in between Shu Fen and the boy. I'm like, why do I have a feeling that this is the Prime Minister's son?
oh, because it is. This is Tong Shiro, the son of my sister and her wife, my nephew.
Though I understand that giving extraordinarily spicy curry to small children is usually considered a bad idea.
Builds character.
Well, you
Just
can.
to hear being reasonable about giving food to somebody that might actually hurt them, Joan, it builds character.
Izzy looks at Zahir. No. Like she just shakes her head.
Now, I'll ask you again. What are you doing here? Why aren't you at your mother's place? Hey. And he starts babbling on, like wanting to explore the island and slipping away while everyone else was distracted. Causing a distraction to, well, causing a distraction to distract someone called Aunt Rada.
Isoline's just gonna like, wait, Rada. Oh no. You slipped away from the centaur.
You slipped away from the Perception Queen.
Also, very impressive.
So you saw you come on ship. Want to join? Pretend like we on your ship. Shiro, this is not my ship. Your mother is. Well, your mothers are going to be livid when they find out where you are. It's such a shame that I can't contact them.
None of us have sending, do we?
No.
Well, the doctor probably does.
And thieves. Is Avery nearby?
He is.
And thieves can't Avery. So here we'll be like, this one's got potential.
I mean, if he's got her for an aunt, I don't know if he's in good hands or in bad hands. Right? After all, she managed to slip by us.
Oh yeah. Lots of potential.
Isn't just gonna like be watching the two of them talk and like, I don't know if I like that.
Thieves can't. You don't know what we're saying.
No, but because I don't
That
know
doesn't
what
make
you're
it better.
that doesn't
It
know
doesn't
what you're
make it better.
that doesn't make it exactly. Thank you. Like it's because I don't know what you're saying here.
Yeah, you'll hear Shufen just go, I have been such a terrible influence on you. She's not going to allow me around you for at least until you're an adult.
She's
No,
saying
I
that
think you did a great job.
is she saying that and things can't, or is it regular?
Regular.
I think you're doing a great job, you know? It's pretty impressive that he was able to slip by all of us. And he probably pressed the button as well, you know?
Almost certain that he did that. Okay. How did you get by Auntie Rada? Uncle, was it trying to think how he would say? Uncle Toot, say he'd caused a distraction for me, a distraction for me. Uncle Toot.
Of course, it was
Uncle
cute.
Who?
Who's that? Uh, small man, red hair, well, white hair, lots of fur on his face.
I love
By
the
the
beard. A lot of fur on his face.
by the gods by the gods of Dio, you got Tooth to distract Rada for you. That's another person you shouldn't be around. You really
I'm
shouldn't be.
starting to think it's safe to say that bad influences abound if you stick anywhere near Kong or this party or Tooth. Like half of the whims of fate and almost all of this party are bad influences.
Somehow in both campaigns, I am not.
Yeah,
Because the universe has dictated that I'm a Disney princess in both of them instead.
yeah. You should be learning to become a wizard, not a rogue.
You shouldn't tell
Why
him what
not?
his future is. I think he's doing a great job already.
Shut it, don't encourage him.
I think it like Isling's been mostly focusing on the boy, other than like casting suspicious looks between Avery and Sahir. But I guess she'll just kind of crouch down so that she's more on his level. Shiro, are you supposed to be studying to be a wizard?
Uh,
Would you like to study to be a wizard?
oh boy, how? Uh, damn. The Tarpus is nearby, but you also have the translation stuff. So it is going to sound odd, but trust me, it would sound more right if the things weren't automatically translating.
Mhm.
So Mom and Mom are wizards.
I'm a wizard too. Not nearly as powerful as your parents, though.
Auntie's a wizard.
Hmm.
And he points to Shufan. He's like, technically, yes, I am a wizard, but I'm also got roguish training.
Wonderful way to go.
You do realize that you probably worried your mom's something awful, right?
He cocks his head confusedly.
Your moms love you. I'm sure that they love you. Wouldn't imagine that they wouldn't. So because they don't know where you are, because you caused a distraction for Aunt Rhoda. Oh, can't believe you distracted a thunder. And you're here instead of where they know, and they don't know where you are. They're going to be really worried about you.
Also distracted Uncle Trailer.
Uncle Trey.
Uncle Trailer?
Do you mean traitor? Uncle Erden? Mama call him Trailer.
Erden. Does he play music like Aunt Rhoda?
Yes. He much better at it. And Edwina.
Okay, not gonna lie, it makes my heart happy to hear Brina called Aunt Brina by this cute little kid. This makes me so happy. Yay! I've met Aunt Rhoda, and I think I met him because I know that we saw them performing, and I know Isleen met Rhoda because but I'm not sure if I actually met Erden and Brina, but I think I did. But even if I didn't like meet them in like individually meet them, I would know who he's talking about at least.
Yeah, so you saw Erden when you were
Mhm.
meeting Tong earlier this day.
Right, and that's what I was thinking was part of the case.
So, given that he's the well, one of two uncles, and he's
Mhm.
that the person playing with him earlier did not match the description of red and white hair and fur on his face.
Mhm.
It is probably the other uncle. Well, other uncle,
Yeah,
the Uncle Trailer.
I love it. A lot of people are going to be worried about you then. Glad that we found you. Probably shouldn't be here though. As it stands, like she'll just kind of look up and around, and everybody's like, I don't know how to get him back to his mom's at the moment. But we can at least keep him safe here. And if anybody can get a hold of Tong, that would be good. Oh, wait. We still have the sending stones?
Yes.
Sending stones.
Yes.
We have sending stones. Like, as Isleen remembers this, she'll pull one out and just kind of talk into it. Prime Minister Tong? Okay. We found Tong Shiro. He happens to be on the boat with us.
You'll hear some expletives.
Yep, expletives. Expected.
And in a voice that sounds like it's trying to be as calm as possible, he's like, I take it you still don't know how to sail the ship?
We are working on that. We found the manual. Your sister seems to be more adept at interpreting it. So somebody was on board recently. Food was cooking.
You don't say. I recently received a complaint about it. Well, about the ship being missing.
Oh, really?
However, I and Mori are not able to get to the ship unless it is at a place that we can teleport to. Because we can't exactly teleport to something that's mobile.
I'm pretty sure we're not moving right now.
Unless the wind is moving us. But the ship is technically stationary, but I couldn't tell you exactly where we are stationary.
That's not going to be good enough for teleport.
Understandable. I wanted to make sure that you knew that we found your son, though.
Yes.
He apparently caused a distraction with Uncle Tooth
You'll hear
and
another expletive.
invaded Aunt Rada and Uncle Raider? I think he means Uncle Erden.
You hear more cursing. It's just
But-
one of those shows where the bleep button is being hit repeatedly.
Yeah. I just feel like Iseline would like hold the stone kind of away from her face as the expletives just keep pouring out. It's like, oh, okay. But also like motioning just for somebody to cover little foxy ears.
Shufin will be sure to or make sure that he doesn't hear anything. You just hear Avery being like, I did not know that she had such a verbose vocabulary.
She seemed well learned. I think she opened a dictionary at one point.
For wizards, we read a lot.
Yes, some of these
Although
words I haven't heard myself.
I didn't even know fireball could be used as an expletive. That was really creative.
I have a feeling that certain wizards like using it as the expletive instead of just saying it. I hope she hasn't set anything on fire.
Knowing my sister, no. She would not willingly set anything on fire.
Good to know. But Prime Minister Tong is. I guess, how would you like us to proceed? We found a map leading to a potential lead in our investigation, which is why we were heading off of the island. Didn't intend on taking a ship that didn't belong to us. That was a circumstance that I do not understand how that happened. But any opinion on how we proceed? Especially because we have your son with us?
What island?
Dunwell Atoll.
Yeah, Dunwell Atoll.
Go there, keep him out of danger.
Will do.
Actually, let's see. How threatening did Tong make this? Unfortunately not very. But you get the sense that, angry mom.
I'm pretty sure Iseline would get it regardless of, like, even if she's not necessarily being very persuasive, it's like she gets the concern of a parent, as well as the fact that she understands I'm speaking to another wizard who is higher level than me and can roast my butt if necessary. Protect her son. Will do. Was already going to, but will do.
Alright, and I think that's a great place to call for this week. Unless unless there's more to be had with that conversation.
No, this is just one of those. Wow, this is really fun to listen to.
No, I don't, and I don't think there's really much else Iselene would say because I mainly contacted Tom to let her know that we found her son. It really wasn't to update her about the investigation. It was mostly, we have found your son. He is with us. We will take care of him. But how would you like us to proceed? Do you want us to turn around immediately? Do you want us to proceed? Like, what would you prefer us to do in this situation? Because he is now with us.